The mental mastery ally in shorts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Today, actually, I was thinking about adding a new element to the show, like shorts. Most of our episodes are like 20 minutes-ish long. If I'm with a guest, could be anywhere from 40 to 2 hours. I think my longest one was like 4.5 hours. That was a good one. There's some good ones, but I was thinking about adding like shorts, just like, hey, quick little burst, a quick little thought, quick little thing. So maybe I would do that. Maybe this is going to be it. I don't know if this is going to be my first short, because if it runs long, it might not be. But if I'm like, you know what? We wrapped it up in under 5 minutes and here is a short. I'd have to create a shorts intro. But then again, maybe not. Who knows? Well, I would have to, because the intro is pretty long. So it'd be like, shorts. Actually, I really like that. Okay. So one thing I wanted to touch on right here is narrative and counter-narrative. And this is something that's come up quite a bit recently. The narrative is everything people want to see, everything that we're used to seeing, everything that just seems normal. The television. Oh, look. It's the news. Are we watching the news? What's in the news?
In the news. Now.
I used it correctly. In the news now, man. The Epstein files have just been released. Well, not all of them, but a decent amount of them. And it's hilarious. So mainstream media, it's going to be snowy, it's going to be winter. And here's another funny thing, too. We just accept blindly that they can predict what the weather is going to be in 5 days with almost bang-on accuracy. Like, to the degree. And none of us have ever questioned if they're controlling it. No, it's a prediction. It's a 100% accurate prediction that they've been doing for years and years and years. No surprise here when they know how to weather modify. But we're not allowed to ask those questions. Because then you'd be crazy. Tee-hee. I'll tell you, if you start poking the beast, you start getting peculiar answers. But now we have the narrative. We have the news. We have people hating people. We have people robbing banks. We have people doing all this sort of stuff. We have all of these evil people in the news. And all of the things the news says is be very, very careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Because there are terrible people everywhere. Nobody asks why there are terrible people everywhere. There are grocery stores right now that are being robbed in Canada because we can't afford shit. Meanwhile, the government is still taking 50% of our paychecks. So, and right off the top, so we don't even have a choice. Doesn't matter how much money you make, they're going to take more. So what do? Well, we can't take our money back from the government, and we're hungry, so we take food from the grocery stores. And the media will say, these horrible people are stealing from the grocery stores. They won't say the government has been stealing from you your entire life and forcing you to do other things. Oh no, we can't talk about that. Also, more in depth in that note is the simple fact that we've never questioned it. And so this is kind of the neat thing. Because we've never questioned it, because we've never gotten ourselves into a position where we have to start asking major questions, it's going to get crazier and crazier. How much more can we be pushed until we become aware of the absurdity in which we find ourselves currently living? How much, I say? How much is the doggy in the window? Beep, beep. Is a good day for me. So there's your narrative. There's your mainstream narrative. It's not all of it, obviously, but it's a fun little piece, sprinkled in with some extra thoughts, just in case. However, we have our counter narrative, which is adrenochrome, which is Tom Hanks, which is all of these people, which is the Oprah Winfreys and the Rocks and the celebrity. Isn't it funny how when Hawaii burns to the ground and certain organizations benefit from the burnt up property, or Los Angeles burns to the ground and certain companies and organizations benefit from the burning, that people will come on TV and say, now is your time to help us. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a program that went for the Palisades, and a bunch of bands got together, and Nirvana did a reunion show. They raised all kinds of money to help the people of the Palisades. Now, I have friends that live in the Palisades, and I also know that not a single penny went to the Palisades. But nobody wants to talk about where that money went. Nobody wants to talk about where the money went, where Rock and Oprah got on screen and said, we need to raise money for Hawaii. Bitch, the two of you have all the money in the world. Why would you come looking for me? I have nothing, and the less I have, the more they take. This isn't an oh poor me. This isn't an oh poor us. This is an all call. This is a statement. This is a short message that says, WTF, ladies and gentlemen. When do we start getting the opportunity to ask the questions? When do we stop attacking our neighbor and looking at who's shaking the jar? Who is making us feel the way we feel? When you don't have the observational ability to take a look at everything, it seems like what you're being told is factual, but it simply is not. Now, if we take another peek at the counter narrative, we've got the Epstein files, we've got this, we've got that, we've got all of these wonderful things going on in the idea of draining the swamp. Oh boy. And the truth of the matter is there are certain people who are going to believe the narrative, and there are certain people who are going to believe the counter narrative. There are certain people that believe in all of the celebrity deaths, all of the weird things. There are certain people who believe in the Australian Bandai shooting. There's so much footage out there that says it's fake. But if you say that, it's bullshit. If you talk about quote-unquote false news, you get reprimanded and a strike put up against you. You're not allowed to have... Freedom of speech only exists when it's part of the narrative that they want you to have. Now, there's a third aspect to this. So, there are people who love the narrative. There are people who love the counter-narrative. And then there are people like me who look at all of it as absurd. Even to the point where I say things like they, them, doing things. They're after us. It's up to them. No, none of that is accurate. This entire experience is yours. Every single thing that you're seeing is uniquely yours. And you're going to do with your experience that which you know best to do based on your programming. Are you free from your programming? Can you get past your traumas? Can you get past your experiences? And the answer is yes. To anyone who's legitimately listening to this show, you are a cut above those who don't. And how I can quantify that is simple. You've got the ability to observe yourself in the action. You've got the ability to ask questions. You've got the ability to wonder. You've got the ability to want more. And when you can step aside from yourself and from your character and from everything that you're observing, witnessing, acting upon, doing, believing in, then you are free. The truth will set you free is a wonderful statement. I used to believe it meant that if you speak the truth, you'll be free from all of the burden of the lies that you've told. But to me now, it's more, if you understand the truth, you're free from the prison that you put yourself in to learn from. The prison system, the prison planet, however you want to look at it, it's not negative. It's not positive. It's not anything other than an experience, because negativity and positivity implies personal preference. And when you can strip all that away and look at everything for what it is. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and he said, well, you should listen to Christoph. His podcast is talking about essentially what you're talking about, but it goes into Russian collusion. And I said, bro, that's just another facet of the game. None of this shit's real. None of this shit's what you think it is. The good, not good. The bad, not good, but they exist in contrast. You need things to exist in contrast for them to make sense. In the infamous words of Beavis and Butthead. You gotta have stuff that sucks to have stuff that's cool, Beavis. Yeah. I don't know about that, but okay. And yeah, that's me doing voices. Haha. I hope I don't get sued for copyright infringement. Sorry about that, Mike Judge. I wasn't trying to steal your thunder. Ladies and gentlemen, understand that you are nothing more than exactly what you perceive yourself to be. And if you perceive yourself to be exactly what you are right now, imagine what you could do if you decided to perceive yourself as something a little bit more. On that wonderful note, ladies and gentlemen, we're cutting it short before 15 minutes. This is technically a short. We want to make them shorter as we go along. But this is not your Monday release. This is the shorts. Something to think about. Ladies and gentlemen, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.